Dear students, welcome to EPG Parashala. I am Dr. Vijay Kumar, former head of the Department of Library and Information Science, University of Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram. This module is titled as Future of Academic Libraries, Challenges and Opportunities, and this module forms part of the paper Academic Libraries. And the major objectives of this module are: 1. To examine the changing role of academic libraries over a period of time. Secondly, how libraries have tried to cope up with the future. And thirdly, why libraries are still important in spite of the erosion in the value that has taken place in the recent past. And now let us pass on to the module. As all of you know, academic libraries are ubiquitous in nature. There have been endless sources of information, especially academic information, for not only teachers but students and research scholars. Their value is derived from the requirement that teachers, researchers and students have easy, rapid, reliable and documented information. Over a period of time, evolved a range of facilities that are available to carry out the same task as academic libraries have been doing. But it's a fact that no other single entity can do all the tasks, all the jobs offered by academic libraries. Therefore, the future of academic libraries depends on the effectiveness with which the services can be offered in the digital era. However, the library and its role in the academic research is going through a clear transformation in the 21st century. The scale and pervasiveness of the changes that are taking place in the academic libraries is somewhat dizzying or beyond any imagination. In fact, libraries are not alone in facing such a catastrophic change in the modern era, especially with the changes in the technological, social, economic and political arena. Libraries have been subjected to so much of changes. And libraries are not alone. There are certain gadgets, for example. A typical example is the smartphone. However, the library and its role in the academic research is going through a clear transformation in the 21st century. The scale and pervasiveness of the changes that are taking place in the academic libraries is somewhat dizzying or beyond any imagination. In fact, libraries are not alone in facing such a catastrophic change in the modern era, especially with the changes in the technological, social, economic and political arena. Libraries have been subjected to so much of changes. And libraries are not alone. There are some other institutions. There are certain, let us take some gadgets for example. Smartphone, as all of us know, has resulted in a huge array of products becoming obsolete. And the array of gadgets replaced are address books, video cameras, pagers, wristwatches, maps, books, travel games, flashlights, land phones, dictation recorders, Walkman, alarm clocks, answering machines, wallets, transistor radios, personal digital assistants, dashboard navigator systems, remote control, airline and railway ticket counters, newspapers and magazines, directory assistants, travel and insurance agents, restaurant guides, pocket calculators, and the array of gadgets that are replaced is endless. Now let us examine the reasons put forward for the decline of academic libraries. In the past, the main role of academic libraries was to provide access to content. Now, however, users are able to access content from a variety of sources. The fact that there is considerable drop in the number of visitors to the library, as evidenced by library statistics, is an indication of the redundancy of libraries. With the universal availability of scholarly content in the open access platform, anybody with internet connectivity can access them. Outside traditional publishing, there is increased use of social media to create useful scholarly content and discourse. Social media is familiar to all of you. Academics who are impatient with the slow peer review process to share and get acknowledgement of their work often resort to academic blogging, which can be accessed directly by the users without any time delay. Many public and university libraries were created to pool and share information resources of a community. But today, this function is obsolete because of the ubiquitous reach of the web. In fact, there are plenty of sites that let people share resources. Examples are Library Thing and Goodreads for books, Flickr, Instagram, and Facebook for photos, YouTube for video, etc. Then public and academic libraries were one of the few places one could track the workings of government. However, today, with the advent of the web, the government is often bypassing the depository program and publishing their material directly to the stakeholders through websites. A strong argument in favor of libraries is that they provide free internet access to the disadvantaged and disconnected. That means those who are not having internet connection. The counter argument is that it is better to divert the funding to libraries to provide internet access to follow the model of rural electrification by providing direct internet access to the homes. Now let us examine why libraries are still important. There are a number of studies carried out in different parts of the world which have underlined the importance and relevance of libraries in the modern world. One is a study carried out by Steelcase provided by Roger Winter, who was the workplace consultant of the company. Steelcase asked students, especially students of colleges, why the library was important to them. The students gave 10 reasons to show that the library was still important. Another study was that of College Online. College Online serves as an online roadmap to higher education, and they have provided 16 reasons why libraries and librarians are still extremely important. The justifications presented by different authorities for the continued existence of libraries can be discussed now. Now, the reasons put forward for signifying the importance of libraries are: 1. Not all information would be available digitally. 2. Still, libraries serve as access points for the materials that are not available in the net. 3. There is a line of argument that in the context of availability of a lot of scholarly materials online, free of cost, the libraries are redundant. But the fact is that not all content can be open access. Moreover, there are cost problems inherent in the open access routes also. 4. Being informed in a democracy is more than simply keeping up with the information and documents that governments produce. It involves reading newspapers, treatises, even keeping up with pop culture. Libraries filled the gap, providing a rich and diverse corpus to enrich our community's thinking. Deliberate proliferation of biased, unauthenticated, unfiltered information is possible in the internet. There is every possibility that users who are not critical get carried away by the information that is available through the net. 6. Libraries foster a habit of reading and a love of reading. Then, the four walls of the library and stack rooms provide a better ambience than a living room for serious study. Libraries make available the e-resources free of cost, thereby saving the expenditure on the part of the users. The number of visitors to the library for loaning out documents or for reference purposes might have declined, but the use of services through the website or portal of libraries have registered an upward trend because of the increased subscription of e-resources in the libraries. Next, the libraries provide internet access not only to access information, but also to push the passions and possibilities of the communities to the whole world. Members can use the internet connection to check mail and apply for jobs, but they can also use it to create businesses and start global conversations. Very often, the library staff members impart necessary IT skills for the effective use of digital resources. This is one of the human services provided by academic libraries. Libraries very often serve as true platforms of the community. They may include information about community organizations such as locations, services, events, etc., directly to their information retrieval system. Next, the mission that has driven libraries for the last 3,000 years, that is, the empowerment of the individual, is still in vogue. In short, we need libraries, say, to discover new knowledge not found in any textbook, then to create all new opportunities for innovation, and to give our communities a voice and power in the working of government. Now let us see what are the ways and means adopted by the libraries to overcome the threat of being bypassed. The first one is shift in focus. While continuing that provisional role of libraries as provider of scholarly content, libraries need to shift their focus to developing new services that incorporate the broader information universe, taking into consideration the changes brought about by information and communication technology. The second step is exploring the possibility of social media. In order to make the libraries more relevant in the context of increased use of social media, universally, libraries have started setting up groups to explore trends in social media and develop new services. For example, Nanyang University, Singapore, initiated the campus-wide Blogs at NTU, a new service which helps the staff in creating course blogs, research blogs, and marketing blogs. That is, by incorporating the social media services into the services of the library. The third one is solving the problems in information, in the information deluge. All of you are familiar with the term information deluge, which is otherwise known as the information explosion, and what is to be done in these circumstances. There are many new types of scholarly content accumulating in the common digital space, including datasets, videos, audio, maps, and text embedded in tools and applications. More choice means that the burden is now on users to be able to discern and select the useful information. And the fourth one is value addition in the new information environment. Librarians guide and teach students in making sense of the complex information environment. They are agents that act on behalf of and in collaboration with their users in getting optimal value from the information world. Many authorities have put forward formulae for invigorating academic libraries. One prominent among them is Lucanic, who has put forward a 4-point formulae for invigorating academic libraries. The first one is libraries must respond to strategic campus and business needs. 2, libraries need to have technology infused in every aspect of service. Thirdly, libraries must embrace flexibility. There should not be any rigidity in offering the services. And finally, libraries must have places to engage the users. Now let us examine some of the examples provided by world-renowned libraries to overcome the pitfalls, or just to invigorate the libraries. A typical example is that of a University of Guelph, a public research university in Canada, which has committed to such rigorous analysis with the revitalization of McLaughlin Library. University leaders, that is the university authorities, conducted online staff surveys, open town hall sessions, focus group discussion, student intercept polling, and interactive staff planning workshops to develop a plan to renovate the existing facility. In short, they were doing some sort of a crowdsourcing the information of the stakeholders. The plan created 40% more study space in the library, including flexible active learning instruction areas, a range of collaboratory study group rooms, and a new research collaboratory co-located with reading and exhibit rooms. The university created a vibrant new main entrance that invites students into the learning commons and offers a 24-hour zone, cafe, and computer lab. They also made several adaptations in the library by introducing compact shelving for a consolidated collection and spaces and tools reflective of the rise of digital resources. Another example is that of Wilfrid Laurier University, a public research university in Canada, which made technology a central focus for the planning of its new library, which is fully equipped to support the multimedia, study and instructional needs for its 16,000 students. The library offers robust access to technology and digital content, along with an IT infrastructure capable of supporting 24/7 fast-paced learning and connectivity. A third example from Britain is that of University of Manchester Library is one of the largest research libraries in the UK and the largest academic library after Oxford and Cambridge. It is the biggest campus-based university in the UK with nearly 40,000 students, 4,000 academic staff, and collections spanning over 5,000 years. Now, the library spends 85% of the budget on digital content. And for many of the users, the service provided by the library is entirely virtual. This transformation has ensured that the visit to library science has increased manifold. The library authorities have observed that the students want the library to provide roomy group space to support new ways of learning, silent areas for when they are revising, relaxation areas and cafes allow them to spend long hours in the building. It was found that more than anything else, users, especially students, want easy access to power to recharge their growing number of mobile devices and very good Wi-Fi. These are the changes that have been made taking into consideration the viewpoints of the users, especially students. Now let us examine the strategies adopted by academic libraries to cope up with the future. Despite all the predictions of doom for the future of academic libraries in the digital age, universities, colleges, and schools around the world are evolving their libraries and intellectual centers into catalysts for discovery, learning, collaboration, and scholarly breakthroughs. Those who predicted the demise of libraries in the face of emerging technology failed to understand how libraries could transform to become beacons by adopting the new technology and adapt themselves for both interactive learning and knowledge creation. What are all the strategies? Let us examine them one by one. First, growing need for academic skills training. The experience in developed countries has shown that students still needed to borrow books, but e-books are increasingly used instead of print. They also increasingly seek the help of the library staff as they try to navigate the complex world of information. They also consult the staff to make judgments about the relevance and quality of information accessed and correctly reference their sources in their work. That is, how to give citations to sources. This is largely because academic libraries offer training by conducting information literacy programs to address their needs. This highlights the need for courses in digital libraries. That means libraries have to start digital literacy programs, especially to acquaint the users with the nuances of the digital resources. 2. Student involvement in the redesign process. As I have already pointed out while pointing out the examples, many of the universities have made use of the students' feedback for developing the learning commons. That is, from the use of space and selection of furniture right down to selected student artwork being used as part of the internal design. That means the active participation of the students are included in the redesign of the interior of the libraries. Thirdly, a reskilling of the staff. Libraries have to make a critical look about the structure and roles of the staff and make some major changes to ensure that they are focused on the right priorities and are developed with or equipped with right skills. With this end in view, many libraries are preparing to reskill the existing staff, that is, providing additional skill to the existing staff and recruit new ones in order to boost research performance and to provide excellent student support. 4. Change in the mindset. The computer age is not fundamentally about computerization, but it's also about the change in management mindset enabled by application of computers. I stress change in the management mindset enabled by application of computers. Computers and the internet have done not just to make things faster and easier for organizations, they have shifted the balance of power in the marketplace from the seller to the buyer. The customer is now in charge. And we have often heard that customer is the king in the modern environment. This is true of libraries too. In such an environment, success depends on understanding the wants and needs of fickle customers. You have to take into consideration the waywardness of the customers and finding ways to delight them. Then 5. Changes in the hierarchical structure. In a bureaucratic setup, the management is characterized by vertical hierarchy. But in the creative economy, which is the order of the day, it is the opposite. The management ideology is horizontal. The central goal of the organization is to delight the user or customer, as I have already pointed out. The values are enablement, self-organization, and continuous improvement to add value to the user or customer. Forward-looking firms like Apple, Amazon, Zappos, which again is an Amazon firm, have embraced these management strategies or management ideologies. Then 6. Thrust on information literacy. Libraries have to increasingly offer information literacy programs. For this purpose, they have to assume the role of teachers in the use of information resources. Success here will depend on 2 things. 1. Coordinated curricula in which librarians and faculty demand the use of library materials and expertise. Only by the cooperation of the faculty and librarians that information literacy programs succeed. Then 2, the ability to search library collections with something like with the same use and efficacy with which one can search the open web. 7, the right approach to change. This is all the more important. The right approach to change involves a shift to the management practices of the creative economy, including 1, the shift in the role of managers from controllers to enablers, the shift in coordinating work from bureaucracy to coordination and assessing outcomes, the shift in values from efficiency to continuous improvement. Perhaps you may be familiar with the message of total quality management, or TQM. Then, 4thly, the shift in communications from top-down command and control to horizontal conversations. 8, increasing the accessibility of research content. This trend has been growing gradually, largely due to open content movement or open access movement, as more libraries facilitate open access models for research output. Academic and research libraries are adapting to this trend by developing new resources and funding opportunities. A typical example is Dart Europe. Dart Europe is a partnership of research libraries and library consortia throughout European Union that provides researchers with a single portal for the discovery of theses and dissertations. You can very well go through their website of Dart Europe, which serves the purpose of a one-stop window to access all the theses and dissertations published or made out in European countries. Another example is provided by Cornell University Library, which emphasizes open access scholarly publishing through their website. You are also advised to go through their library website. The Colorado State University libraries have allocated considerable amount to support the open access scholarship and research funds. Examples abound in this area. That means so many examples are available. Suffice it to say this much. Then next strategy is rethinking library spaces to foster more hands-on activities. This is assuming greater significance in the modern day. This is as a result of the ways in which the move away from print materials are freeing up physical spaces of libraries that can be used for facilitating workshops, media production, and training. Say, for example, the online collections or electronic collections are making room of the print resources and therefore freeing a lot of space in libraries. This free space can be effectively made use of for conducting workshops, media production, and training programs. A marked movement in this direction is the development of maker spaces. Maker spaces is a concept which is emerging high in the modern environment. Many academic and research libraries have renovated or refurbished or repurposed space to accommodate maker spaces, which are also referred to as hacker spaces, hack labs, or fabrication labs. These are areas where students and faculty can access tools, materials, and the expertise to make things outside of their curricular objectives. It is believed that makerspaces and making activities effectively engage learners in creative problem solving through self-directed design, construction, and iteration. That is, by repeatedly doing the things. Dear students, now let us sum up what we have already seen. The academic libraries shift from a repository of collections to a catalyst for discovery and creation is now happening across the globe. More than ever, libraries are essential as the place where people knowledge and research intersect to tackle our world's greatest challenges. With increased focus on sharing of collections, consortial delivery programs, and collaboration among libraries, the academic library is changing dramatically. How it is changing dramatically, we have already seen. Books will still be very much a part of the library of the future, but increasingly, libraries are taking a central role in campuses as cultural and creative centers. Users want spaces that inspire learning and offer opportunities for the 3 C's, that is, collaboration, creation, and contemplation. 3 C's stand for collaboration, creation, and contemplation. The future library will be the central destination on campus, a vibrant, active space where knowledge creation and research go hand in hand. The academic library of the future will offer one-stop shopping for students and faculty with the establishment of faculty development centers as well as student writing and media creation centers. Furniture will be mobile and flexible to allow students to form study spaces at will. Electronic publishing and scholarly communication centers will assist students and faculty with publications. They can come out with their own creations. For example, many of the universities have taken up academic commons. You can just go through the websites of some of the Western universities on academic commons. Maker spaces would invoke the creative talent in the users.